Hey guys, in my last video I finished my Rouleau inspired workbench. It's been really nice using a proper work surface, but I find the top quickly accumulates tools and equipment. So in this video, I'm going to build a cabinet that fits underneath the workbench and will help me organize all of my hand tools. For the cabinet, I used 1/2-inch sanded aspen plywood. So unfortunately, I don't have a table saw yet or a track saw, so cutting these panels was not very fun. I had to mark where I wanted my cut, line it up with my saw blade, put a straight edge, and as you can see here, just doing some micro adjustments to make sure it's as close as possible to square. I also doubled up the panels of plywood just so I'd have to do less cutting. So once I had my 4 outside pieces cut, I was able to stand them up on end. And to attach them, I just used some glue on all the surfaces and some 1¼ brad nails. I went by later with a countersink bit and used screws to attach all the panels together. So here I'm attaching the drawer slide hardware, and these are some slides that I got from Lee Valley. I think they're about $9 per pair, which is quite reasonable for drawer slides, and they have a weight capacity of 100 pounds. And I was using actual blocks of wood, not measuring on the sides, and that's just to make sure all my drawer slides are level and on the same plane, so I don't have any wonky drawers. And this is why I need a cabinet. This is what my workbench looks like during and after pretty much every project. Here I am ripping down some more of the aspen plywood, and I'm cutting all of the pieces for the drawer bottoms and drawer sides. And again, for the drawers, I'm just using glue on all the surfaces and some 1¼ brad nails. So I wanted the cabinet to match the rest of the workbench, and I thought a walnut trim would look quite nice. So again, glue on both sides and using my brad nail to hold them in place while the glue dried. And I made sure to go back later and fill the holes from the brad nails with a walnut wood filler. I spent a few minutes here sanding down all of the drawers, and I also broke down the edges of this walnut here. So here I am installing the drawer slides. They were pretty easy. I just lined it up with the front of the drawer and put in, I think it was 5 screws per side. Just like that, they slide in. So here I am cutting up some cherry plywood. So these are some kitchen cabinet drawer fronts, and they have edge banding on all 4 sides. And so I wanted the tops and sides of my drawer faces to have edge banding, so I was able to get 2 drawer fronts per section of cherry. And that's why you see me cutting from one side, flipping it around, and cutting from the other side. I also found that putting some tape down helped my saw blade cut through without chipping. I should also mention that for this project I purchased a new Diablo blade. I think it has 80 teeth, and that cuts through plywood a lot nicer than, a 40 tooth or 60 tooth blade. So I've never installed drawer faces before, so my solution to trying to fit them in perfectly was putting some painter's tape between the 2 surfaces and then just fitting it in place. And I found the painter's tape had enough strength to hold them in place. And once I was happy with the alignment, I would just pull the drawer out, pre-drill on the back for 2 or 3 screws, and fasten the front right into the drawer. And I had these cherry panels before I even started the build, so I was able to determine how wide I wanted my drawers so that they fit the panels I had. for the middle part of the cabinet, I wanted a little pantry door. So I used my router and cut out a little recess for the hinges. And I just had to clean out the corners here so that my hinge would fit inside. So after installing my little pantry door here, I put some support underneath my workbench, and each of these supports sit directly underneath the vertical walls of the cabinet. So as I said, I wanted the cabinet to fit underneath my workbench, and of course I measured multiple times to make sure I wasn't making it too big or too small. So my cabinet is a 1/16 of an inch smaller than the opening underneath the workbench. And as you can see here, it was a snug fit. At one point here I was a little concerned I wasn't going to fit it in, but I was able to, with a little bit of force, just slide it in there. So here I am installing the drawer handles. I measured to the middle of the piece, and then using a little homemade jig I made, I drilled out 2 holes, and then I used washers on the back and the hardware that the handles came with, and I was able to pull the handle tight to the cherry front. So I intentionally left some room between the underside of the workbench and the top of my cabinet. And this I'll just use for storing things like, here my pencil case, calculator, maybe some saws or other tools. And of course I left enough rooms for my holdfasts to sit down without hitting the top of my cabinet. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe down below.